5, 4, 3, 2, 1, live.
Hi, welcome to a night under the moon. Thank you for joining us.
This is Unity MacNeill. She's going to be helping out today.
And this is Sammy Toole, my friend. She's also going to be helping out today. So the moon is 68% waxing gibbous.
Up there.
Up there.
You can't
what school you guys go to?
We go to Orchard Farms Elementary School.
Why are you showing people the moon?
Because it's very interesting.
Yes.
It's very interesting, and that's why we're showing you it. Okay. This is one telescope we're going to be using tonight.
And then this is the other one we're going to be using tonight.
Tell people the phone. You can say, you guys want to go into the telescope now?
Do you guys want to go into the telescope now?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Alright, well, we're going to start looking at the moon and, like, craters and stuff. So.
And there's a big, like, wire thing right here, and
Yes.
it's messing up our walking.
Which, like...
Yeah, like, we need, like, obstacle around it.
So the moon is up.
Okay.
So you can read some stuff.
I'm going to read some stuff.
You go first.
Me? Okay.
I could talk too. So tonight, guys, we have Sammy
Hi.
and Unity,
Hi.
and we have the moon live for you right now. Now, this is a very wide view of the moon, and you can see all of the moon in this view. And tonight's moon, like Unity said, is a 68% waxing gibbous moon, and that means that the moon is 68% full. Now, Uni and Sammy showed you some of these telescopes we're going to use. Tonight, right now, we're using the smaller telescope so we can get that wide view of the moon. But we're going to go to bigger telescopes later to get a little bit better view. We could zoom in a little bit here, too, to try to get a little bit of a closer view and see what we can spot here. So Sammy and Unity are going to talk to you a little bit about some lunar facts right now that you should know.
You can go first.
Okay. So 238,900 miles average distance from the Earth.
Now, what does that mean? Is that how far the moon is from us?
I think.
Think about that. 200, and what was it? 236,000?
238,900.
238,900 miles. How far do you guys think Orchard Farms is from here?
Like 3 miles?
Like how many?
Like 3 miles?
Like 3 miles? What's your house, Sammy? How far do you think that might be from our house?
Like 1 mile. I don't know. It's really close.
Like 1 mile. But imagine if you lived 238,000 miles away, then you guys that would be a long drive.
Wow. Very far away.
And I don't know. So that means that it takes light a half a second to get here. So you guys are looking at the moon right now, right? But that light is from a half a second ago. I think that's pretty crazy.
We're late.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say something else too. For all you guys that are tuned in, watching Sammy and Unity tonight, rocking out with us, you have a chat right on the right-hand side of your live video. That chat is where you can kind of post questions and you can kind of talk with us. And if you do that, we can do shout outs to you. So if you want to, you can just kind of type in there your name, say hi, and we'll give you a shout out if you like. Now, you guys want to talk about the moon a little bit more there?
Sure.
So what's your favorite thing about the moon, Unity?
I don't know.
You don't know? You have know what your favorite thing about the moon is? What do you like about the moon?
I mean, I like all the craters. I feel like that's cool.
That's what I was going to say. I like the craters. They're, like, deep.
Yeah.
Now, what about, like, do you guys see the man in the moon? Or do you see something else?
I see the man, and then I know you see the bunny.
I see the bunny. Now, I don't know about all this man stuff. What do you see, Sammy? Who do you see in the moon?
I see a rabbit.
You see the bunny too?
Bunny rabbit, yeah.
Way to go. See, that's all I see is the bunny.
I see the bunny too, but I also see the man in the moon.
You also see the man in the moon?
Yes, but I see the bunny more clear.
Yeah, you can see like the ears and like the face.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Let's see here. Now, we have some people to call out here. So take a look over here. Who are you seeing here?
Oh no, my mom.
Oh, McGreevy, I think that's Liliana's dad.
Who else?
I think that's Liliana's dad, McGreevy.
I'm going to go with you guys.
Yeah. Oh, Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
Oh, hi, Ellie. Oh, Lindsay Delpreet. Sadie says hello. Hi, Sadie.
Tell Sadie about all the calling.
Oh yeah, you called us, so we had to put our phones on airplane mode.
Yeah. Yeah, just like randomly, just like. Oh, Sadie calling. My dad just like, I can't take any calls right now.
We're like, can't take calls now. We're doing live stream. What's going on
We're
here?
hanging up on you.
Yeah, we're sorry.
So, on the moon here, and if you guys can see it right here. But
Yeah.
on the moon, what do you think all those gray areas are?
Crater.
You think they're craters? Way to go, Sammy. High fives. That was like high one. High fives. I give up. I give up.
I'll give you a high five.
High five. Oh, I shouldn't have asked for that. That was a bad idea. Okay. All those, you're right, Sammy. All those gray areas, they are craters. But we don't call them craters. You know what we call them?
What?
Awesome. No, we call them Maria. And Maria, see, that's the Latin word for sea. And like an ocean, like a body of water, right? Now, when we used to look at the moon a long time ago, we're talking like way before the Egyptians, way before all these civilizations you guys learn about in school, the very, very ancient astronomers on Earth, when they looked at the moon, they said, well, I wonder if those dark spots up there are actually oceans. Because we have them here on Earth, right? So they must be on the moon too. Obviously. We used to think that there were dinosaurs on Venus. And so we called them Maria. But when we learned a little bit more about the moon, and we learned more about how to make really great cameras and do things like this, we realized that they weren't actually oceans, that they're actually old areas that lava was in. Well, why do you think lava was in there? What do you guys think?
I'm not sure.
An explosion, maybe?
Maybe.
You think maybe the dinosaurs stepped through?
What if they
Yes, absolutely.
That was it. Dinosaurs on the moon.
wow.
No, obviously no dinosaurs on the moon. It's because there were really big asteroids that smashed into the moon. But they did it when the moon was so young that there was still lava right underneath the top of the moon. And when those big asteroids smashed into the moon, they broke open that top layer. It's called the crust. Like crust on your pie. Think about crust on your pie. If you took a baseball and you dropped it onto your pie, what would happen?
It would break in.
It would break the crust, and what would go everywhere?
The pie filling.
Whatever's in the pie. What's your favorite pie?
Pumpkin.
That's the pressure right there. What about you?
I don't know. I don't really eat pie.
Sammy doesn't eat pie. Sammy's like, pie is not for me. I eat cake only. I like pumpkin pie too. But pumpkin pie doesn't have a crust. If we had cherry pie and we dropped a baseball on it, what would come out all over the place?
The baseballs are bullies.
What's that?
They're bullies.
The baseball.
Yeah, that
They're
baseball is
mean.
being a bully, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of what these asteroids are like. So all that lava came out and went all over that little hole, big hole that was made. And when it dried, it reflects less sunlight, so it looks dark to us. And that's the Marias. That's all those gray areas you see on the moon right now. Now, what do you guys think? You guys want to get closer to the moon? Do you guys want to get closer to the moon?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Totally.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take the moon out of the telescope right now. And while I'm doing that, maybe you guys want to see if there's any new shout outs you guys got to do.
Is it like?
Thank you, Ellie.
Can you say? We don't know how to pronounce your name. We're sorry. Hawaiian flamingo.
What happened?
Hi. I gotta say that. I didn't say it. What about like up there? Is there stuff up there?
That's it.
I was that. Oh. Is that my dad? Hi.
That's your dad.
Hi.
So Emily's grandmother, Linda Taylor, asked, "Why can't we see the moon during the day?" Dad, why can't we see the moon during the day?
Well, what do you think? Do you think we can see the moon during the day, Uni? What do you think? Yeah?
We saw it earlier.
Yeah. You can see the moon during the day.
Sometimes
You just got to know where to look for it.
Yeah, it's just
Actually, it's still kind of daytime right now, right? We can see the moon.
Oh.
Now, when the moon is really small, like when it's in its new phase or when it's like super thin crescent, then it's harder to see because number one, you got to look through the atmosphere and it looks really tiny. But even more importantly, when the moon is new, so full moon is when the moon is on the opposite side of the Earth than the sun, and all the sunlight is shining all over the whole moon. Sorry. But when you got the new phase, the moon goes all the way around the Earth and it gets in between the Earth and the sun. And the other side of the moon is all lit up. So the side that we see, you can't see anything. And that's why we don't see the moon when it's new. But when the moon is in a really thin crescent, that means it's really close to the sun. So you'd have to look really close to the sun to see it, and that's not a good idea. We all know better than that. So, don't look at the sun, right? Duh.
yeah.
Do you guys look at the sun?
Only with solar glasses on.
Look at this one here, only with solar glasses. What about you, Sammy?
No, since I don't have solar glasses.
No, because she doesn't have solar glasses. Good. Don't look at the sun. So that's why it's harder to see the moon when it's close to the sun. Now take a look at this, girls. Look at that right there. Look at this crater right here. That is one fine crater, huh?
Yeah.
If we get a better focus on it. Oh, that's bad.
Whoa.
That's pretty good right there. Stop shaking the telescope, Sammy. That right there is Copernicus crater. Does it look big?
Not from here, but it's
Yeah.
No? How big do you think Copernicus is?
Like 5 miles
5 miles? You think it's 5 miles deep or 5 miles wide?
wide.
What do you think, Sammy?
I think
You think it might be...
You can see through there, but you're not moving anymore. Just,
But this is live, right?
that's why.
Okay. So, what about... What do you think? You say you don't know? You sure? You think it might be maybe a little wider?
I don't know.
How about 15 million?
15 million? I don't think the moon is that wide. So, I think it's going to be... What you're looking at there, that size of the moon is about... It's almost 60 miles in diameter.
What?
Think about 60 miles in diameter. Now you guys take a look at it. You see that little dot in the center? That little tiny dot in the middle right there, that is called a bounce back or a reflect, or like when you think about impacts on the moon, kind of bounce back in the middle the same way it does when you have a pebble in the pond of water, right?
Yeah.
That little dot in the middle, that bounced back when that impact happened and that crater formed. And that little bounce back, that little tiny mountain in there, that is taller than Mount Washington. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Taller than Mount Washington.
That's very tall. It is.
That's how big that crater is. So if you were standing in that crater, you wouldn't be like, look at me, I'm inside a crater. You would be like, I'm in a valley, it feels like. And once in outside the valley, you see that mountains in the distance, and that's the crater rim you're looking at. Isn't that kind of cool?
I would think,
Bad
how am
cable.
I gonna get out of this?
Yeah, it's like a never-ending.
Running around trying to get out. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably be trying to find an edge to something and then try to climb up it. But I don't know if it would work.
Really? You would try to do that?
I don't know.
I think. Well,
I mean, if I was trapped in it.
it's supposed to be like stuck in there forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
What do you guys say? We brighten this up just a wee bit, huh?
Sure.
Unlock that. Look at that. That's better, huh? You want to... Whoa, that's too bright. Unlock. Right there. Sammy, stop shaking the telescope. This telescope shakes a lot because it makes us want to dance, so we get into it, right? Let's zoom in on this guy here. Take a good look at this crater, guys. I mean, look at that. That thing's a monster.
Yeah.
You think there might be dinosaurs in that crater?
We shall never know.
Yeah.
You're right. We're not going to know that. Actually, we can. We can find that with, it's a telescope called the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. And it orbits all around the moon, and it maps the surface. How neat is that?
Cool.
Let me try to get a little bit better focus for all of you here. If that's okay, maybe. So, do you know why it looks like the moon is underwater or on fire like this? It's because that's Earth's atmosphere that's doing that. When you look at Earth's atmosphere, you have all of this stuff in a way. Things like oxygen, right?
Yeah.
Things like, what else is in the air? You think?
Well, there's like air pollution and stuff.
Yeah.
Like carbon dioxide? Make sure you guys speak loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, carbon dioxide.
Well, do you think there's nitrogen in there? Maybe. What do you guys think? Nitrogen?
I don't know.
Actually, there's more nitrogen than anything else. Isn't that weird?
Really?
Yeah. A lot of nitrogen. But all that stuff kind of messes up the light. So the light doesn't just shine in. It's all wavy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's surfing.
Yeah, it's surfing.
Surfing.
Like flossing. Can you guys show me the floss? Let's see it. Let's see it. Flossing. Sammy, that is pathetic.
So enthusiastic.
There we go. That's the floss, huh? I would do it for you, but the telescopes would fall over, the table would fall. It would be a disaster. So here we go. She's showing me. No idea. No clue. Yeah. You know what?
I'm just gonna stand here.
I'm just gonna raise the roof. No? Okay. So, you guys want to see another crater? Another crater on the moon? What do you guys say?
We do.
You
Well,
do?
I do. Oh.
What crater do you want to see? Pick it up, Sammy. Is that yours or yours?
I think that's Sammy's.
Sammy, drop the bracelet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Play-doh crater in our view.
Play-doh, like the toy?
No, that's Play-doh. This is Play-doh. Play-doh like the old dude. This is Play-doh crater right here.
You just said Play-doh again.
We're going to play with some of the Play-doh here.
You just said Play-doh.
I didn't say anything. I don't know what
You
you're talking
said
about.
Play-doh, not Play-toe.
That's Play-doh crater. All right, so I'm going to turn this around. Let's see if we don't break our cord this time.
Yeah.
As long as that stays going, right? I used a bad cable for the camera tonight. Go me.
There's a lot more questions.
Yeah, you guys got some questions? Got some call outs, some shout outs you need to do? We got here. So did you see who's that? Oh, you said thank you already. And oh, who's that?
Hi, Caroline.
Hi. Oh, more people.
What do you got? What do you got? Here you go. Who's that?
Oh, no, that's my aunt. Hi, Lisa.
You're so famous, huh? What else we got here? You got, so, who's this?
Hi, Reese and Malin.
Hi.
And say, yeah, pollen makes us cough and sneeze and all that.
Yeah, pollen makes us cough and sneeze, and it makes me itchy, so I'm really itchy right now.
Did you take your pill?
No, I didn't.
I did because I'm so awesome.
You took yours?
Uh-huh.
Good thinking. I took mine.
I want to take mine now, but I don't know.
First year I ever had to take anything for allergies over here.
Hi, Francis.
Hi.
Hey, you can read that off. Hi, Melania from first grade. You're awesome. Oh my goodness, we're losing Play-doh crater.
Oh.
We have to move it. You can also ask people if they have any suggestions or any questions or any areas of the moon they want to see.
What do you want to see?
Yeah, what do you want to see on the moon? Because we're just kind of going to the stuff that we want to see.
Hi, Caroline's younger sisters. Hi, Samantha and Alexis.
Yes, hi to the twins.
Let's move around a little bit here.
Are the footprints?
So you know what
in
we're going
the
to do
trail?
now? We're going to come down over here. And I'm going to
There's
see
a
if I can find this spot right over here. You guys ready? All right, here we go. Now, in this area, we have a lot of mountains on the moon, huh? Like crazy mountains over here. And these mountains are called the Montes Alps. So much to say. Alpenines. What's that?
Yeah, questions.
Yeah, what's the question?
So, are the footprints and the tire tracks from the Lunar rover still visible from Earth?
What were the questions? You can try to answer too.
Are the footprints and tire tracks from the Lunar rover still available from Earth?
Take a look. What do you think? How would you answer that question?
No,
Let me see.
I don't know. Like,
It says, tell me where. Are the footprints and tire tracks from the lunar rover still visible from Earth? That's from Linda.
mhm.
Yes, they are, Linda. But, well, no. Not from Earth. You got to think of it this way, Linda. 238,000 miles on average away. Telescopes like this, we couldn't see mailboxes on Block Island. So the areas that we're looking at right now, they're so big, they're like that crater we were just looking at, that thing's almost 80 miles in diameter. So we can't see any of the features of the landing sites from here. And actually, that's what I'm going to now with the telescope, these mountains. I'm going to show you where our landing site is. But you can see them if you go check out the NASA mission called Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, or LRO. That is an observatory that orbits the moon, and its job is to map the entire surface of the moon, which it has done, and that has captured pictures of the footprints and the tire tracks and the equipment that is still on the moon from the Apollo missions.
How far is the moon from the space station?
What do you think?
Probably about like 2,000 miles.
2,000 miles.
I
Wow.
don't know.
Space station's really out there, huh? What do you think, Sammy? You think the space station's on the moon? That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the space station is 250 miles up from us.
Wow.
And the moon is about 238,000 miles away from us. So 238,000 minus 250. What does that, guys? What does that give you guys? Math, come on.
Wait, what was the question?
238,000 minus 250.
230 minus 230?
250.
I already forgot the
Oh, you want
Wait, 238 minus
238,000 minus 250. These are supposed to be good at math, huh?
It's Sunday.
Yeah, it's Sunday. It's our day off.
Oh, it's Sunday. So that would give you 237,750 miles away. Now, let's look at his picture, girls, real quick here. So what we're looking at now, you see you got like the crater on the right-hand side there, or on the top, it looks like it's twisted a little bit there. So on the top of your view, you guys got that crater. And then just below it, you got that ridge, so that line of mountains right there. And there's like a kind of a space in the mountains right in the middle. If you look right to the right of that space, you'll see like a peak and then a drop, and you see two little dots, and then you move over more, you see another peak. And right in front of that peak, you got a little tiny dot right there. See that right there? That little dot right there?
Yeah.
That is a little tiny crater. And if you keep moving along to the next peak, number 3, you'll see another dot like that too that's a little bit more visible. And that third dot in front of that third peak down to the right, that crater is visible in the Apollo 15 landing site photos that were taken on the moon. So that's the Apollo 15 landing site right there. Hot potato, huh?
We have another question.
What's this?
So Malin wants to know, is there a tall crater?
Is there a what?
A tall crater.
A tall crater?
Yes.
Yeah, all the craters are kind of tall, right? The mountains are tall too. Let's see if we can find, what do we say? So let's look around, see if we can find ourselves a tall crater here. Everyone's like, wait, I'm still looking for the Apollo landing site. What are you doing? Don't move it. All right, let's see what we can find here. Tall crater. What do you guys think? You guys think we're going to find one, or you think we're going to be out of luck?
I think we're going to find one.
So that's the edge of a tall crater right there, called Sinus Iridum, right on the edge right there. Think.
Yeah, right.
That's really, really tall right there. That's Sinus Iridum. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Let's find a very tall crater. Let's go find the crater called Tycho. Tycho. You know, Tycho toys,
man. I can hear the telescope moving.
You can hear the telescope moving?
Yeah. Sounds like bzzz.
That's amazing. I can't hear that. Okay, there we go. This crater right here is a bug on my screen.
That has been there for a long time.
Sammy, you want to get the bug off my screen?
Yeah. I don't see it.
You will.
Oh.
Think. That was Uni just kicked the telescope.
What?
Yeah, I didn't have to.
Oh, look, you did it again. That crater right there, that is Tycho crater. And Tycho crater is very, very big crater. And this crater is about 50 miles wide, but that little mountain in the middle right there, that mountain's big. That's bigger than any mountain on the east coast of the United States. That mountain is as big as the Rockies. And then when you look at the rims of this crater, the edge of the crater, they're so tall that they're as tall as some of the mountains that we have in the Rockies and out in the western side of the United States, some of the mountains in the Alps on Earth, and even some of the mountains in the Himalayas. That's how tall that crater is. So if you wanted to climb that crater, good luck.
We have a question.
Hi, Gabby and Danielle, and thank you.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Approximately how many craters are there on the moon? That's a question.
What do you guys think? What do you think? How many craters?
Probably close to 2 million,
Close to 2 million?
I think.
Probably close to. I don't want to count them.
You don't want to count them. Well, that's Sammy's job right now to start counting craters. Go. But look at this picture here. Just take a look at this. Think about this. Look at our view here. So you got Copernicus, or that's not, what am I talking about, right? That's Tycho crater. Tycho crater in the view. But look around it. You got craters everywhere. You got old craters that don't look like they're really there anymore. And then you got new craters where they're nice and very visible, really easy to see. And if you look inside Tycho crater, there's even some spots inside it where you can see some craters in the craters. There's so many craters on the moon that we haven't even gotten around to counting them all. But Uni is right. There are millions of craters on the moon. Millions. And most of the larger craters are all named. And I even think Neil Tyson has a crater named after him. I want my own crater, but they didn't give it to me, so no crater for me. I was going to name it Unity, No, I wasn't. But I'm just going to say that because she's standing here.
What is the temperature on the moon? Ellie asked.
Oh, we have that right here. You guys can read it right here. You guys ready?
Yes.
Ellie, that's a great question, you. So, you guys ready? Let's see if we can find it here, right here.
The temperature on lunar equator during the day 235 degrees Fahrenheit, at night 387 degrees Fahrenheit.
Is it 387 degrees at night or what?
Minus.
Minus 387 degrees Fahrenheit at night.
Wow. I didn't see the minus.
Why do you guys think it's like that? Why do you guys think it's so hot during the day and then so cold at night? What do you think? I mean, it's right next to Earth, right? It's just, you would think it'd be the same as us. Why do you think it does that?
Well, we're closer to the sun than the moon.
You think there's something missing on the moon that we have here on Earth?
Oh yeah, we have like the whole greenhouse.
Yeah.
The greenhouse, that's right. I was going to say, Sammy and Unity are here, not on the moon. That's definitely missing on the moon. But Sammy's right. We have the greenhouse. We have that greenhouse effect on here, that atmosphere. There's no atmosphere on the moon.
Like the greenhouse attached to the house?
Yeah, we have a greenhouse on our house. That's where Uni goes when she's in timeout.
So that's where your work is.
That's where my work is. That's where I go when I'm in timeout. So on Earth, we get all of this light comes into the Earth during the day, right? And then it bounces off, it absorbs into the ground, and then what comes off the ground is called infrared light, and that's heat. It's hot. And when it tries to leave back out to space, all the greenhouse gases, things like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, methane, all of these molecules, they stop all the heat from leaving. They absorb the heat and then they release it again, so it slows it down a lot. And that's why it stays warm at night for us. On the moon, they don't have that. So during the day, you're in direct sunlight, so it's like 270 degrees. But then at night, all the heat just goes right back out to space instantly, and it's minus 300 degrees. In fact, if you were on the moon and you walked into a shadow, it would drop down to minus 300 degrees in that shadow. Crazy.
We have another question.
Well, who's asking all these questions? What's going on with questions?
This one's from Gabby and Danielle, I think.
What's the question?
Do you want to say it?
Can you see the flag from 69 degrees?
Can you see the flag from 69 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
You can't see... All right, so what do you guys think? You guys think you can see the flags on the moon?
Not from like here.
No, not from here.
You think you could see them if you were in orbit of the moon?
Well, they're like...
I don't know. They're kind of... the imagine it's kind of tiny.
It's really small. It's like seeing us from the moon.
Yeah.
So, what happens if you leave your shirt out in the sun? Like, say you have a black shirt, or a blue shirt, or a red shirt, and you leave it out. And you leave it out in the sun for like a week.
It's gonna be extremely hot.
Yeah, but what happens to the colors on it? Do they stay the same colors, or do they? They fade. Do they fade? Do you know what part of light does that? Ultraviolet light, the light you can't see. But it's the same light that gives you a sunburn. So, but we have an atmosphere here. And a lot of that ultraviolet light doesn't get in here, so it's not so bad. On the moon, remember, there's no atmosphere, right? No greenhouse. So all the ultraviolet light comes in the moon. So I don't think those flags kept their colors very long. I would say they're probably just white right now. But there's another problem. I wasn't alive for the missions, and I don't know about these two. They may have been, but I wasn't. I'm too young for that.
We've always been alive.
But when those missions happened, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin figured out really quickly that the surface of the moon, which looked really soft and powdery, was only a couple inches thick, and underneath it was really hard, and they couldn't get the flag to stand up. So they had to kind of take rocks and put them all up against the flagpole at the bottom, and it stood there not so great. So I'm pretty sure that when that spacecraft they were in, the lander, when it lifted off, the thrust from it probably blew the flag right over and covered it in dirt. So I think all the flags are probably buried.
Okay, so we have another question from Gabby. How are craters created?
What do you guys think?
By asteroids.
Yeah, by asteroids.
What do you think? How do you think craters happen?
I think
You think it's magic?
Asteroids hitting
yeah,
it.
they're made by asteroids and they go vroom vroom and the moon's like poof. It's a crater.
Let's have that description again, right over here. That was perfect. How is that again, Sammy? Yeah, let's do that again.
The asteroids go vroom vroom and fly to the moon and then it creates a crater.
Like that? No, that's just for everybody.
Yes,
So-
you did.
That's it. We get things hit the moon, right? Stuff smashes into the moon, and it creates an indentation in the moon. It blows all the material in the moon, that spot, out to the sides, and everything from the inside shoots out. And when it settles, you have a crater. And the crater we have in our view right now, this crater is called Archimedes crater. An Archimedes crater kind of looks like that. Take a look at it. It's not too deep, but you know what you have all around it? You have all that. It looks like a hill all around the outside of it. And that's all the stuff that landed around the crater.
We have another question.
Another question. You have any shout outs to do?
Yeah, this one's from Miles.
Hi, Miles.
Hi. He wants to know if you can see the craters without a telescope.
Yeah, you can. So if you guys are near a window, or if you can step out into your deck real quick, take a look up at the moon. You can see it tonight. And you'll see some of those dark spots on it that make up the bunny in the moon. I see the bunny. Some of these people see the moon, the man in the moon. I don't. I see the bunny.
I see the bunny.
But those dark spots that make up the bunny, they're craters. They're really old craters, but they're craters. So you can see those. So what do you guys want? Do you want us to stay zoomed in on the moon like this, or do you want to go back to seeing the whole moon in the telescope?
We can go back to seeing the whole moon.
Whole moon telescope? What do you think, Sammy?
I agree with Unity.
Okay.
Team Frosty Drew.
Okay, so
Wait, who's Frosty Drew? No.
we have another question from Thomas McGreevy Jr. What would happen if the moon was gone?
If the moon was gone?
Yes.
Well, that's a tough thing to answer. That's Colin?
Thomas
Thomas?
McGreevy
That's a
Jr.
hard question to answer, Thomas, because it depends on in what manner the moon was gone. Like if it just instantly disappeared, or if it kind of slowly went away.
That would be very concerning.
If it instantly disappeared, we would have gigantic tidal waves on Earth that would come up way over the land. It wouldn't be a very nice day for us. But if it was kind of like...
Wow. That's
Let
scary.
me get this here.
It's
a little
like-
better. If it went away slowly, and not too much, we wouldn't get as many tides as we usually get. Get a quick look here. A moment. So we still have the moon in our view. I think we're good here. Let me just adjust it real quick. You guys want to tell some people some more
break.
lunar facts?
Sure. Okay, you go because I just said the other one. You can get the other one.
I don't know what to say.
That one.
Which one? Orbital speed? Oh, the orbital speed is 2,287 miles per hour. That's really fast.
Yeah, it is.
If your car was like going that fast,
You would probably get into an accident pretty quick.
you'd probably get into an accident like 200 miles.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going that fast, you'd probably fly right off Earth.
Oh, we have another question.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Another
You
question.
can.
What?
Okay, Miles would like to know the diameter of the moon.
The what?
The diameter of the moon. It's... Do you want to say it or do you want to say it?
You can say it if you want.
Okay, it's 27% the size of the Earth. That's like... It's too tiny.
It is. Like,
Small.
That's pretty small, don't you
Yeah.
think?
Well, Earth
Yeah.
is like really big.
It-
So, I mean... Couldn't really be that big.
so the oldest collected rock from moon is 4.5 billion years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
4.5 billion years old. That's
That's really old.
That's old. That's
I don't think any humans could live that long.
I will.
Before dinosaurs.
That's before dinosaurs. So
Yeah.
think about it. Humans have only been on Earth for 11 million years.
That's so
4.5 billion years? That rock is
that-
old.
That's like 10 million years times that.
It's like one of those ancestry tests. It's like your great.
Bang.
Mhm.
Now, what is, so you guys are looking at the moon on the screen right there, right? What do you guys, what's your favorite thing that you're seeing tonight, you two? What do you guys think is the best thing you've seen?
I like the giant crater. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The giant craters?
Mhm.
Which ones? The ones that make up the bunny in the moon and the man in the moon, or the other ones?
The ones that we went close up to. Those were cool.
I like the tall ones, like the ones that were super tall.
And the ones that we found from England.
Yeah.
They're really big.
Do you guys like the moon?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, why would you dislike them?
I have no idea.
Well,
Never did anything to you.
do you guys think that we needed the moon to live on, to be here on Earth? Do you think we would have been here if it wasn't for the moon?
Well, if it were to disappear, like you said, then you know. If there were tidal waves, I would rather have the moon than tidal waves. I like the moon. It's cool.
Do you guys think that the dinosaurs, if they didn't die, would have had telescopes looking at the moon?
Probably not.
If we were alive with dinosaurs, would we just be those pets?
Would we be their pets?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we might be their dinner.
Yeah, I think we would probably get it between a few hours.
So do you guys know what this part of the moon is right here? The part where the sunlight ends on the moon? You know what that's called?
No.
Shadow.
It's the shadow area. You're right. And that line, we call it the terminator because we want to sound cool in astronomy, right? But what it means is that's where light terminates, so it's where it stops. So if you think about it, like on Earth, one day on the moon is 27.3 days on Earth. That's how slow a day is on the moon. So when you look at that line, you can see it in your view where all the sunlight ends on the moon, or all the light from the moon ends. That's where sunset's happening. And that's why the craters look so awesome in that area. Because all the sunlight, just like it does here on Earth at sunset, shines right across the ground, and you get those really long shadows. And you need those shadows to get that good view you're getting.
You would need a lot of coffee to get through that day on the moon.
Man, yeah, right. Imagine getting through that night.
You would live at Dunkin' Donuts.
So you're talking, if it's 27 days on Earth for one day on the moon, that's a lot. It's like 13 days of nighttime and then 13 days of daytime.
Yeah.
Imagine 13 days of night where it's cold and dark, but you still got to go to school and you still got to do your chores.
Well, if it were a day, I feel would there be 13 days of school and then at night you'd just sleep for 13 days?
That would be a tough time to stay up for 13 days. I don't think by the time, I think on the 13th day of school, you wouldn't be learning much, would you?
The teacher would be like,
I think the teachers would be good because they'd be drinking a lot of coffee, but you guys would be like, oh, you seeing rabbits and bunnies walking around the classroom. Any questions or shout outs?
There's no questions. But yes.
Ellie likes the craters, huh?
Yeah. They were very cool. I agree. I don't know if we
So-
questions.
What do you guys think? Do you think that those craters that are really easy to see right now, right on the edges, those real deep craters with the shadows and the ones with the point in the middle, you think those are really old craters, or you think that they're really young craters? What do you guys think?
Really young.
Really young?
Yes.
Why do you think they're really young?
I don't know.
Just a good guess kind of thing?
Yeah.
What do you think, Sammy?
Like the ones that have like the big shadow thing?
Yeah, so when we were looking before looking at the Copernicus crater and Play-doh crater, you know, they had like the little mountain in the middle and a big rim around it, and they look really deep, and they had a lot of lines all over the place.
I think that would be new.
You think that means they're new?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Or do you think that means that they're blue?
I think they're new because I grew Gilly like.
When you look at the moon, so another thing too is about this. Where's all the craters on Earth?
Well, we have like lakes and like stuff, but we have.
Where's all the craters on Earth?
I don't know.
Can you guys think of one crater on Earth?
A valley.
I bet there like are, but we don't like, because there's so many things in there, you wouldn't really notice.
But do you think there's as many craters on Earth as there is on the moon?
No, because we're not like as vulnerable as the moon.
Why not?
I know I learned this somewhere, but I don't know.
You're right, though. But you're right. It's because we're not as vulnerable. But Earth is the big one. Earth is the one that's going to get hit more than the moon, right? Because we're bigger. We have more gravity.
Yeah.
We're cooler. More awesome, right? But you know what it is? Earth's always changing, huh? What happens if you stick your foot in the sand at the beach, right by the water? What happens? Does it stay there all day? Does your footprint?
No,
No,
because
it gets washed away.
By what?
the
The
water.
waves.
By the waves. The waves erase your footprint. It's like resurfacing. It's always nice and smooth there, right? This happens all over Earth, but it's not always just water. Sometimes it's the wind. Sometimes it's geology, like the lava underneath the ground. So the surface of the Earth is always changing, and we have an atmosphere that helps that. Like what happens if you get, so say you got like a stone driveway like ours. What happens every time it rains really hard?
All the stones like go everywhere.
They go everywhere, and then what's in the driveway?
Dirt, rain.
Is there big ditches?
Yeah.
And we got to drive around them,
Yeah.
and then I got to get the shovel and scoop it all back in.
Yeah.
Things move around because of all the weather on the planet. Do you have rain on the moon?
No,
I
because
don't think
there's
so.
nothing to keep like the clouds and stuff inside.
What's that?
There's like nothing to keep like all the clouds and stuff inside of it.
So you got no rain on the moon. Do you have an atmosphere on the moon?
No.
No. And you know what? There's no waves on the moon either. There's no geology on the moon. So guess what changes the moon? What do you think? If it's not weather, if it's not water, if it's not lava, what do you think it is?
The asteroids change the moon.
Impacts. The only thing that changes the surface of the moon are other things crashing into it. But they're not gigantic asteroids like all the critters we see. They're really tiny little meteorites, and they kind of chip away at everything on the moon. And they don't leave craters, they kind of erase all the craters on the moon. So what happens is, over billions of years, the craters get really flat, and they kind of lose all that really crazy detail.
We have a question.
Yes.
Mrs. Basil wants to know what favorite thing about astronomy is. Right there.
Now you guys tell me. That's your
You go
principal.
first,
You guys
Sammy.
better get this right.
You go first, Sammy.
What my favorite thing about it is?
About astronomy.
I like. It's like I like how it's so like different than normal stuff. It's like more interesting, I think.
I like how like they all kind of look the same, but like they're all like different in their own ways.
Yeah, that's great. You know that uniquity. You guys want to know what my favorite thing about astronomy is?
What?
Aliens. No, I'm kidding. My favorite thing about astronomy is that it reminds me that my problems aren't really that big of a deal, right? Because when you look
Yeah.
out into space, it's so big. I mean, we're a planet around a star that's so big that you can fit a million Earths into that star. That's how big that star is. But that star's not that big.
Wow.
There are 200 billion stars in this galaxy. And this galaxy is not that big. There are trillions of galaxies out there in the universe.
Wow.
That's how small we are. But you know what? All of that stuff that makes up everything in space, it's all the same stuff that we have here. The same atoms, the same molecules. So you look out in space, and what do you see a lot? You see hydrogen everywhere, right? It's like, and hydrogen is all over Earth. You see nitrogen, you see carbon, and you see oxygen, all the things that we know of. And when we look in our bodies, guess what we see? The same things. And that means that all of our atoms, they came from all of those stars that died before we were alive. And those atoms came all the way here, and they became part of the sun, and then they became part of Earth, and then they became part of you. And they became part of me. And when I die, they'll go back into the Earth. And then when the Earth dies, they'll go back into the sun. And then when the sun dies, they'll spread back out into space and find another planet that forms, and will be part of another planet one day. And that tells me that we are all in the universe just as much as the universe is inside us. And because of that, this is the only place in all of those trillions of galaxies that we know of where the universe can talk to itself, where the universe can joke with itself or fall in love with itself or give itself hugs. And when you think about your eye and all those atoms in your eye that came from all those stars that died, that lets us look back at the universe. And a good way to think about that is the universe looking back at itself. And this is the only place we know of that can do that. So that makes me feel big. That's my favorite thing about astronomy. That sounds like a whole bunch of hoopla, right?
I also like how it's always like changing, so it's never like you have stuff. You never
Over and
stop
over.
needing stuff to look at.
Yeah.
That's right. There's always something new to see. There's always something new to discover. So we have 3 minutes left. What do you guys want to do for the last 3 minutes? You want to do shout outs? You want to answer questions? You want to do lunar facts? You want to joke around? What do you want to do?
I don't know. What do you want to, Sammy?
I don't know what to say. What to do.
So I think that we just made the moon small in the telescope. And do you guys want to read anything about the moon over here that stands out to you?
The highest mountains on the moon are 16,000 feet in altitude. That's like, wow.
16,000 feet. I mean, that's pretty high. That's taller than anything in Rhode Island. It's taller than anything on the East Coast, right?
The widest craters on the moon are around 140 miles in diameter.
140 miles. That means Rhode Island could fit in that crater. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I think you could fit Rhode Island in a lot of things, though. What about this one?
Moon completes one complete phase cycle. What does that say? Synodic period every 29.5 Earth days.
That means that even though it takes 27.3 days for the moon to go around the Earth, the phases are changing at a different rate, at 29.5 days, or 20, because what happens is we're also orbiting the sun, so our angle changes just a little bit. What does this one say right here? You want to read it, Sammy?
Moon's orbit of Earth is 5% inclined to the ecliptic.
To the ecliptic. That is a geeky note. You guys know what that means? It means that the moon is just a little bit above and below where the sun travels across the sky. That's what that means.
Sammy, your mom says please put your sweatshirt on.
I'm not cold, Mom.
Oh, you got to thank you.
You're welcome.
Please put your sweatshirt on. What?
I'm not cold.
Yeah, it's around your waist.
I'm not cold. Not cold.
Do you think there is a life on the other galaxies?
What do you guys think? You think there's life in other galaxies?
Maybe. We don't really know
Maybe.
anything about it. Like much. and that stuff.
Yeah.
But
You're right, Sammy. We don't know, but just because we don't know doesn't mean that it's not there, right?
so like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It means we don't know. But what do you think, though? I mean, think about it.
Could be.
So there are trillions of galaxies out there, and there's anywhere from like a billion stars all the way up to trillions of stars in galaxies. So if every galaxy in the entire universe, like if this was the only planet that had life on it, of all the 200 billion stars out there, only this planet around this star had life, and every galaxy had that, only one planet with life, there would be trillions of planets with life. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? You think that there's probably life out there or nah?
I think there probably is, because like it can't be like alone.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think? You think that would be kind of cool to know that we're not alone?
I mean, yeah, because it kind of makes
Yeah.
you feel lonely when you're just like the only people in the whole entire I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find life, right?
Someone's setting off fireworks near us.
Someone sent off fireworks?
Yeah, I can hear them and see them.
I like that.
I hope they're not like, if there's life, I hope they're not mean and they're not coming out to get us.
Yeah.
So we are closing up now. We're wrapping up. Is there anything you girls want to say before we wrap up our session?
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for coming here.
And what is your name?
Samantha.
And what is your name?
Unity.
Awesome. And my name is Blipster Crandall. And tonight, no, I'm sorry, it's Scott. And this is something
I like
that
Blipster Crandall better.
we're gonna go with Blipster then. So if you guys get a chance, once everything goes back to somewhat normal, you can stop in on Friday nights at the Frosty Drew Observatory and actually look through the telescopes at the moon, at the stars, at the galaxies, at the rings of Saturn and the moons of Jupiter. Tons of stuff we can do there. You'll see Uni out there running her telescope. And we also do this every Friday. We do a live broadcast as well on the same YouTube channel that you're on right now. And it won't, sometimes we have Unity on, but most of the time it's just the astronomers, and we're a little bit more geeky than these two awesome kids are. But we hope you enjoyed the moon tonight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a lovely day, and the moon is so awesome, so we're really happy to show it to you. And we'll see you guys later. So, bye-bye.
Bye. Wait, did you press end straight?
Bye.
It's got a delay. We're done.